What's the went through med school just to realize you couldn't stand the sight of blood of your job field? Had a teacher in my nautical academy that found out he was chronically seasick. I work in an art museum. I love art. Love all of the community outreach the museum does. All the programs for kids, veterans, cancer patients to have a creative outlet. But I hate talking art. It's so bullshitty. Not every person that has an exhibit is going to be a genius. Sometimes, rarely, but it does happen. The artist is a true hack, whose work required little to no creative thought, dedication of time, or new ideas. And you look like an asshole if a patron asks what you think of the art and you don't shit your pants over it. You're expected to go to every gallery opening, which is basically every night, even though everyone forgets what was even on display 2 weeks later. But the amount of times I've heard, you haven't gone to the Bone Farm. You haven't seen JoJo's installation of cut up pants. How many hipster galleries do I have to pretend to give a fuck about? Went to school for firefighting. Had a classmate drop out because he was afraid of heights. Friend went to become a vet tech before realizing she was allergic to cats. Grew up with dogs only. I was dead set on being a video game developer. Started in QA, saw the endless hours of crunch, the devs working 80+ hour weeks without showers or shaving, smelled the funk of hundreds of unwashed bodies, the crossed fingers at reaching publisher milestones for bonuses that would hopefully make it all worthwhile, and the constant fear that they wouldn't get picked up for the next project so they could keep getting paid and keep making mortgage payments. Decided that I'd rather be in systems in lieu of development and never looked back. Going to film school, then working on a real set. Learning the hierarchy and the unions, many moving pieces, and politics really makes you start to hate the industry and really turns you off. Ask a person in film and amp, TV production, how long have you been working in the industry? Most people's response? Too long. I went to massage school with a girl who realized she didn't want to touch people for a living. Spend years learning about electricity and circuit design only to discover you are colorblind and can't determine which wire is which. I had nightmares in college about failing lab finals because I had been afflicted with spontaneous color blindness. Many people become a lawyer only to discover they hate practicing law because they didn't really understand what that meant when they went to law school. Law is very boring, involves a lot of rote work which has little practical effect on a case, and is ultimately soul-sucking. Being a lawyer involves very little grandstanding in courtroom. Many lawyers never do that. Even trial lawyers, like you see on TV, only get a couple trials a year at best and some go years between trials. The only kinds of lawyers in court every day are criminal attorneys. Going to school for vet nursing or veterinary med and then realizing you are scared of certain animals like mice or rats. Human resources. Went through school to realize I couldn't lay someone off. Honestly, terminations for cause are pretty bad, but at least they did something to cause it. I'm talk about downsizing. Went through a rather longer apprenticeship learning how to cut meat just to figure out I couldn't stand the cold of the cutting room. Toughed it out long enough to get promoted to manager so I didn't have to be in it if I didn't want to be. I work in a pathology bacteriology lab, so basically if you're at all squeamish, you've got no chance. I took swabs from a chunk of necrotic tissue on my second day, and I'll never look at fried mushrooms the same way again. Has anyone said chef afraid of knives? Chef afraid of knives here. My friend applied to be in the RAF. Failed the medical because he is colorblind. This was the first he knew about it. He was 21. Working in an office realizing I hate 90% of office culture. I swear I'm not the social anxiety-ridden depressed redditor you may be picturing me as. I'm fairly extroverted and social, but damn it I hate office bants. The implied need to look busy. The implied need to stay long. The high school-esque need for conformity. Anything that's weird gets a comment. Ugh. I'm in law school, and recently realized that I hate reading boring shit. Got a master's in engineering to realize I hate sitting at a desk all day. Sound engineer. I'm sensitive to loud noises. Should have thought that one through. There's quite a few pilots that are scared of heights. When I get really angry, Angry enough to feel an adrenaline spike. I have trouble speaking. Every word is a legit physical and emotional struggle to produce, and it all comes out in a low, growly voice. I am a lawyer. I teach English to kids aged 3-9 in China. I can't tell you how many people I've met while teaching abroad that either can't stand kids and or constantly complain about how the country is so different from their own, considering being able to handle children and adapt to new surroundings are two of the biggest requirements to do the job.